I was injured 5 years ago in a car accident. I show skied before my accident, and my first question to my doctors after my accident in the ER was if I could water ski again.
I flew up on the water and it was like I had wings. It was awesome, freedom. It was everything I loved about the beach, being able to move about freely. You had the sun. So it's the sport and it's the culture of it. You just feel so free on the water.
When you're hurt right off the bat, your life turns 180 degrees. All of a sudden, you are posed with some challenges with the unknown. A lot of that, yes, is negative, but a lot of it is positive. There's a lot of great resources in your communities, supportive family and friends, people who have been injured for a while, they know the score. It's just so valuable to get connected with other people who are doing things. My life is so full now of great, great things that I otherwise wouldn't have been exposed to had I not been injured the way I was. There's hassles, and everybody has bad days. And you can dwell on them, or you can take advantage of the good things that you've got in your life.
Jump there for Derek. A little bit closer to his 20 metres, what we're told is personal best. We'll just check that out. We've got some profile.
I can't hear you. Cheer?
I welcome you all to the event, and I wish you all the best for the competition.
The International Water Ski Federation at this 2007 World Disabled Water Ski Championship.
G'day mates, my name's Chris Edwards. I'm from Melbourne in Australia. My main role down there is working with Wheelchair Sports Victoria to promote spinal cord awareness from primary schools to high schools and show all the able-bodied people around that we participate in all sorts of sports, from basketball to water skiing to snow skiing, and the only thing we have to do to participate in those sports is adapt our equipment and away we go. And we certainly give you able-bodied people a run for their money, that's for sure. So look out if you see any disabled people wheeling around, because we're coming to get yous all. The main reason I got interested in water skiing was back in 2003 I had a motorcycle accident and left me paraplegic from my chest down. And before my accident, I really enjoyed motorbike riding and water skiing in the outdoors. And from having my injury, I thought to myself, I don't want to sit around and leave any regrets about it. So I found out there was water skiing about and I jumped straight back in the water, and I've been skiing for 3 years now and competing in tournaments for 2 years and really enjoying it. We have a lot of different injuries, from visually impaired people to people with different levels in spinal cord injury, and the higher the injury, MP1, MP2, to people with abs and backs who are MP3. I am an MP2 person from the chest down. I have not much muscle function or control. For anybody who's newly injured from a spinal cord injury or anything like that, I strongly recommend you get out there and give water skiing a go. Don't just sit on the bank and have a look and think, oh, that looks a bit daunting and a bit scary and my injury might get worse. It's totally enjoyable, and if you don't want to take it to the competition level, you should, because it's spot on good fun. Is that all right, you think?
A little wave there, Caleb, you're okay? Oh, nice jump.
My name's Eamon Prunty. I'm from Ireland, just live outside Dublin City. I've been doing competitive water skiing for 13 years, I think, at this stage, and I love the competition aspect of it. Sometimes when you're at home and it's cold weather or it's rough water, you don't really feel like you want to go out and ski, but it's knowing that you have a tournament coming up that really drives you and makes you go out and ski in the rough water, because you know it could be like that the day of the competition, which it normally is. The best thing I think about water skiing is you can just, you know, find one of your mates, or find somebody, it doesn't even have to be your mate, with a boat, and make mates with them and get out there.
Oh, nice air.
The term I identify most with is a person with a disability, and that puts the fact that I'm a person first. I celebrate the day I got hurt like another birthday, more because I am alive, I'm kicking, and I really want everyone to know I'm here and I may have a disability, but I'm not disabled.
I was running a sports program for disabled at the California State University of Chico, and was contacted by a gentleman that said he had just invented a water ski and was looking for some guinea pigs, and could I help set him up with some folks. And that person turned out to be Royce Andes. Those that are in disabled water skiing know that he invented the first sit ski here in the United States called the can ski. So I became one of his guinea pigs, and sure enough, rushed down the very next day, and water got yanked around the lake with him, and we tested out products that he was creative enough to think about, and that was my introduction to skiing. As college guys do, you can't do anything with two guys like that without one trying to better the next. So we were, how many weight crossings can you do in X amount of time, and how big of air can you get, and well, how many buoys can you run, and one thing led to another, and we ended up in tournament skiing.
Skiing never left my mind very much at all. I just wanted to get back into skiing, and I've asked people about it. If I figured these people here at a rehab hospital would know if anybody did. One said she knew about something in Europe, and it was actually in Belgium. And so I just kept looking around until I finally found something. Well, once we built our first ski and we found some basically guinea pigs to work on it, we started reducing the size of the ski and experimented with the seats. And it was obvious that it could be moved up, and the higher you move the ski up, the narrower you could make the ski, which would make it more maneuverable. You'd always trade stability for maneuverability, just like anything else. Every time we came up with something new, I'd tell my buddy what I wanted him to build. We might draw a picture on butcher paper or something and have him come up with that. And little by little, we moved into something that looked a lot like a slalom ski from that time, only bigger. And every time we built one, he would have members of his class build it. We built almost 100 wood skis. When we finally got a design we liked, we went to fiberglass. At the same time, we were working with different cages, and we went through 3 major designs. Go to kids camps, things come up, different types of foot plates that need to be built, different shapes of cages for people with different disabilities. And then the latest thing we've done is come up with riser plates that can raise the height of the bottom of the cage. So if you have 2 or 3 different heights, you actually have 2 or 3 sizes of skis.
Hey, Matt, try the new knot. All right. It's in the middle. Whenever you're all ready.
We really need to get the word out about skiing, that almost anybody can do it. I would say 99% of the people we put on a ski get up within the first 2 or 3 tries. We just need to let people know that it's easy, it's really fun, and it's safe for people. One of the best things about it is getting families and friends to be able to integrate their disabled children or families or parents that couldn't get into things before and the person had to sit on the dock while the rest of the family went out skiing. Now they can ski. They can go out with almost anybody and ski, and it's a lot of fun.
When you ski competition skiing, you want to push the boundaries. So we wanted to build a ski that was unique to Australia, and and good enough to break world records and show the rest of the world what we can do out here down under. We applied some of our technology we have from the racing skis, and they hold just about every record there is now except for MP3 men's slalom.
What was it about disabled water skiing that interested you?
The phenomenal athletes and their desire, their heart, and their ability. I mean, we have disabled skiers that flat beat able-bodied skiers head to head.
Tell us about some of the world champion disabled water skiers that you've trained.
Mark Turner, Steve Poulin, Steve Hornsey, got to ski and coach with Dave Wysong. All four of them have major ability, and their drive is just tremendous. And they're just fun to ski with because they're ready to go anytime, any place. All those guys, I skied with them in the dead of winter. And it's really great when you've got a skier that's got the ability and the desire all wrapped into one. You don't usually find that all hooked into one person. It's got to be fun. It's a passion for me. You know, I can't think of anything I'd rather be doing. And if I can instill that into the skiers to enjoy it, that's the best it's ever going to be.
A few years ago, Steve Poulin, who is a multi-time national and world champion, he was also the first sit skier to go over a jump ramp in a competition. Steve did that because the U.S. ski team needed more points. He didn't know how to do it, but the team needed points, he was going to do it. A few years ago, he gave Kent one of his medals and said, "You know, Coach, I couldn't have done this without you."
I was injured when I was 10 years old in an ATV accident. I have a friend named Alex, and she skis with me too. We like to go out together and ski with disabled sports. You're just like gliding across, and you got the water and the waves and the wind. It's really cool. It's just like a wonderful experience just to be out there enjoying what you really like to do.
Disabled water skiing has impacted my life. It's brought me into a community where everybody, it's like the camaraderie is just great to me, and I just love being around them. We help each other out, even though some of us are competing against each other, but it's all like a sister-brother kind of a thing. It's a big family thing, and it's just, water skiing to me, it's given me a reason why I don't have a hand. It's like it all came together. My injury is like, for a long time, I just kind of wondered why. I kind of blamed, you know, everybody. It kind of makes me get all misty-eyed, but now I have a reason. There's a reason for everything. What I did today was what I call a rodeo 360. Actually, it's a rodeo 540. Normally, a 360 is where you would pass the handle behind your back and completely turn all the way around, whereas what I did, Craig Tim, an arm amputee also from Minnesota, showed me that if I bring it up and around and then spin that way, that I can come all the way around without a problem. And there for a while, it was really hard to get the handle up, and not very many people do it. Not even in the able body can they pull off that one. You definitely have to have a lot of upper strength in your arms, and it took me a while, but I nailed it.
I've chosen to specialize in the rehabilitation of physical disabilities. Individuals with disabilities that get involved with sports do so much better in all of life.
I'd seen all the guys jump here and fell in love. I mean, there's something else you got to do. You look at a ramp, it's 3 feet tall. Bill's like, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." We put on a hockey helmet with a face guard. He gives me the handle. We're on a plank, literally. It's a wooden board.
5 layers thick. It's literally, we painted the plank on the bottom of it.
Skull and crossbones on the bottom, so when you jump, you see that.
The division that I ski in is the MP1 division, which is a high level break on the spinal cord, roughly at the neck level. So I'm actually technically a quadriplegic, which means I have neurological dysfunction in all 4 limbs of my body. I actually don't have the ability to grab the handle of the ski rope and have to hold the rope in my wrist. So I currently hold the world record in water ski jumping. I also hold the world record in slalom, and hope to hold the world record in trick next May.
My name is Andrea Anderchuk, and I'm from Brockville, Ontario, Canada. I work as a graphic designer at a newspaper. My most favorite thing about water skiing is the social aspect of it. I've met so many people around the world throughout all my competitions, from the US, from Europe, from Australia. If I could change my life, I would never change my life for the world. I've been in a wheelchair for 17 years. I got a virus in my back when I was 12 years old. When I first got in a chair, I didn't want to associate myself with anybody in a wheelchair or any kind of disability. So I didn't get involved in any kind of sports. When I was about 21, I saw disabled downhill skiing. It got me in touch with a guy named Chris Bourne, and he hooked me up with the right people. That experience changed my whole life forever. Now I just find any possible way to talk to people with disabilities and tell them you have to have sport in your life, because you just gain so much more self-confidence. Now I go up and talk to anybody. I'm a real social butterfly.
Beautiful work on.
World's first water skiing cat. Interested in water skiing when I was about 4 years old. Grew up in the family and skied out in the Delta in California here and up in Lake Tahoe and a few other places, and So I've been basically skiing all my life. And after I got hurt, that was one of my first questions was, can I still water ski? And fortunately enough for us, Royce Andes had developed the can ski, and I got into it then, and I never looked back. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things. My perspective on life is to enjoy it, to get the most out of it. Everybody goes through their quirks in life, whether you're disabled or you're not. And it's the love of life, you know, and really, and the love of meeting people. One of my favorite parts about life is meeting somebody and then helping them to gain some insight on things they can do in life, or, you know, further expand their horizons, let's say. To, you know, give them opportunities to ski or snow ski or, you know, river raft, or, you know, where they're kind of going, what, I can do what? You know, and you're like, you really can. You can really get out there and do it. And you can have fun doing it. And you may not be the best in the world. You may not, it doesn't really matter. The point is that you're doing something that makes you happy, and you're competing against yourself. How much better can I be than me? And really, that's one of my favorite things, and that's my attitude, and that's kind of what I push to everybody else is enjoy it. Be friendly, make friends, get out there, intermingle, and do the best you can.
I originally got interested in water skiing through skiing with my family at the family cottage when I was, 9 or 10 years old. And then I unexpectedly lost my eyesight when I was 15 and just continued skiing. The disability skiing came in when I met some friends and people who were interested in that at a clinic for the disabled. Before I lost my eyesight, I didn't trick or jump, and now I do all 3 events. We kind of play the hand that we're dealt in life, and you can play it the way you want to. You can make the best of the situation or the worst. And for me, it's enabled me to do some things that I normally wouldn't have done if I hadn't lost my sight. For example, tournament skiing, trick skiing, and ski jumping. I know that I wouldn't go over a jump ramp if I could see. I would never go over the jump ramp before when I had my eyesight. So now that I lost my eyesight, it's not near as scary. As a blind water ski jumper, I approach the ramp, and I have a guide skiing next to me who, my life is in his hands, basically. He's counting down the distance to the ramp, and it's my job just to do exactly what he says and to listen so that I know exactly the moment when my skis will contact the base of the ramp. Then I know when to resist the ramp, when to spring. And from that point on, it's a matter of anyone else just going over the jump ramp. I have held world records in all 3 events, jump, trick, and slalom, and I currently hold the world record in slalom and jump. When life deals you something that you really don't expect, or it seems to be a disadvantage or a difficult situation, I think people need to make the best of it and focus on what they can do instead of what things have been taken away. I used to be a racquetball player. I can't do that anymore, but I can still water ski. So I have turned my energy and time toward the things that I can still do. And those things have been the most positive things for me in my life since I became disabled. So I would encourage people who have an accident, become blind or paralyzed or whatever the incident might be, just to focus on what they still can do, because there's an awful lot that you can do in life once you're disabled.
I think it's a great sport because when you're visually impaired or blind, you don't have the opportunity to drive anymore, so the feeling of speed behind a boat and just feeling that wind through your hair. In 2001, I was in Australia and I didn't get to ski that year, so I went over as an Australian and I rented a koala costume and I marched in the Australian team at the opening ceremonies and nobody knew it. But our team doctor, see me, he says, you know what, that looks like a blind koala.
I'm a 3-event skier. I actually am the first woman ever to complete a jump on a sit ski. After setting a record in all 3 events, winning 5 national and 2 world titles, I thought, I have set the pace. I've showed these girls they can do it, and my life needs to go on and focus on teaching, building equipment, because I wanted the sport to grow. I had polio when I was 2 years old, been raised in a chair, and while I was working as a travel agent for people with disabilities, arranging hotels and cars with hand controls, I discovered that their whole family was going on vacations and having all the fun, but the person in the chair with a disability was sitting on the sidelines watching them, and I said, there's got to be a better way to do this. So I started doing research, and I tried everything I found before I tried to sell it to somebody else. If it was a scuba diving expedition, I went out and became a certified scuba diver. And then along came water skiing. So I contacted the American Water Ski Association. I says, is there anybody out there that is building adaptive water skis? And they sent me to Royce Andes. I immediately bought a plane ticket and flew to California in the middle of December. 2 wetsuits, it was 40 degrees, and I got in the water, and all of a sudden, it was better than walking. I was thrilled. And I go, you know what? This is a new life for anybody in a chair. I sold my home, packed my bags, quit my job, moved to Florida, and I have just put my heart, soul, and mind into the sport because I know it does for other people half of what it did for me. It'll change their lives. There are so many people with disabilities that don't belong to any type of resource center, and all they do is sit and watch TV. And they've got to understand that life goes on beyond that wheelchair. But it's up to us as veteran skiers to get the word out. Sports and recreation is the best way for physical therapy. Not only physical therapy, but mental therapy. You cannot be a productive human being if you're sitting home and you're depressed. If you can find a sport, not just water skiing, but any kind of sport that gets you out, socialized with people. I like the word disabled because we're able, we just have a disadvantage, an inconvenience in our life that's going on right now. We can do anything that anybody else can do. We just do it differently or with different equipment or different resources. Never used the word handicap. That came from an old slang of a beggar sitting on the street with his hat in his hand, begging. And we are people first. We have disabilities second. You know, people with disabilities are a minority, but we are a minority that anybody can join at any time. There are accidents, happen every day. With modern medicine, they are saving people's lives that 30 years ago would have died. What really makes a person is what's on the inside. My disability has made me what I am today.
Being involved with disabled skiing has not only affected my life dramatically, but it's enabled me to raise a child, teaching her that there's no obstacles in life. Other ways my disability has helped me, it's made me understand what life's all about. As long as I've got food to offer my child and food in my stomach, I've had a good day. I currently hold the world record in jump at 50 feet, and I've actually done more in the chair than I would have ever done as an able-bodied person. I am a single parent. Her name is Brianna. She has been my angel in life. I just can't imagine raising a kid as an able-bodied person and having her be the person that she is. She's looking at studying sports medicine and minoring in dance. We have a black and white photograph in our living room, and the photograph represents my legs in a pair of jeans and her legs with her point shoes on, and they're entangled together. And I think that picture in a nutshell tells the story of me and my daughter.
Zoli was trained through a program out of Chico, California. He is my best buddy in the whole world. He can pick things up, and though he's not very big, he actually will pull me around. When we get home and he takes off that work face and wants to play, he's always entertaining, and he's always a companion. And that is probably the best thing he could do for me is just be there for me all the time. I started skiing before I was hurt. I skied in the Delta, skied with my parents and friends, and just loved being on the water then, and it was kind of a natural progression once I got hurt to kind of seek that out again. I tried inner tubing and other things, lost my shorts a few times, and then I ran into Royce. Royce contacted us, and a group of us playing wheelchair basketball in Chico said, "Hey, are you guys interested in trying out a new ski we made?" And I was one of the first ones. "Yeah, me." Got started as one of the original guinea pigs to try out the can ski. As I was hurt when I was 16 years old because of a motorcycle accident. I was young and outgoing. The support of the family and friends got me right back into mainstream. And so I, just kept going. Life doesn't stop, and so I wasn't going to stop. Now that I'm older, I kind of feel like, really value each day, what it has to offer, and really value that I'm survived it all.
Digging in the air. There's a nice jump on it. The final cut to the ramp. Big.
Before my injury, I used to be a sportsman, but after my injury, I didn't think myself of being able to do any kind of sport. But one day, a friend of mine brought water ski for a gift for me, and I was introduced to Bill Furbish, the American skier, and he gave me a lot of motivation to start that, and I just started.
I was injured in a car wreck in '95. I was a freshman in high school. It was the end of my freshman year. And we hit black ice on the road and spun into oncoming traffic, and I just thank God so much to be alive. And that's another thing that I try to tell new injuries is, try to be, even though it's hard, try to be thankful for what you do have. I love water skiing. When I was newly injured, when I was in rehab, everything they had me try felt like I was trying to have fun. It was so hard. I wasn't used to my body yet. Everything is so hard at first. The one thing I want to say is everything gets easier. Every new injury needs to hear that. It gets easier, I promise. So if you try a sport, like early on, give it another chance a few years later after you're stronger and more used to the way your body works. Water skiing was the first sport I tried that didn't feel like I was trying to have fun.
When I went to 6th grade camp, we had a dance, and the boys were in a circle and the girls were on the outside. And when the teacher said go, you had to run and pick somebody to dance with. And so I just thought Mark was the cutest thing and ran over to him, and of course the first thing out of his mouth was, I didn't think anybody would pick me. I'm not very good with comebacks, but I should have said, well, I picked you. What do you think about that, buddy? I was hoping to see him again at camp and say something to him, but we never saw each other again. And then a friend from high school suggested that we take a weightlifting class together at MJC. And so as soon as he rolled in the door, I knew that I recognized him from somewhere. And I didn't know where, but I was just immediately attracted to him. It took me a couple of days, but I realized where I had met him before and had the same attraction, and we just started hanging out from there. I had quit college for a while and took a job, and a full-time job, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and then I went back to college and had never really forgotten about Mark, but I tried to, you know, hang out with him a little bit, but he was doing the water skiing thing. And one day I was sitting in my truck and I saw him drive by, and he saw me and waved at me, and I was like, hey, he waved at me. and it had been a couple years, and I remembered where he lived, so one day I got the guts to drive over to his house and knock on the door and say, hey, you want to hang out sometime? And so we were hanging out a little bit, and my parents had a boat. I asked him if he could come and try and find me so we could hang out.
Come on. Come on. Pull, pull, pull. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think he would, but, you know, he showed up in the middle of the afternoon and took me for a spin in his jet boat and spun some U's, and we've been married about 2.5 years.
Oh, you're all cold. You've been outside. So I started skiing when I was 13.
5 ball, come on. Yes! Damn it! Get down there. Get on it. Get on it. Yes! Yes!
Mark's got to be the youngest here that is completing the course.
When I was 18, I went to the Nationals and did well at the Nationals in Sacramento. I met Kent Sandhagen when I was 19. I skied at his lake for 6 years, and during that time I went to England and Australia and won the Worlds twice. I met Holly when I was 19. I was driving down the street at the college and saw a high wire truck and waved at her, and then she waved back, and we got married in 2004. Then we moved to Texas.
It's always been my dream to be a firefighter, and that hasn't quite worked out for me, but you know, the next best thing to being a firefighter is having your own fire truck. Hopefully restore it and put it in parades and have some fun with it. This is Mozart, the newest addition to our family. I feel like our lives are pretty complete here now in Texas.
My name is Delphine Le Sauce. I am from Sète in France. I had an accident in alpine skiing 3 years ago in France, and I'm a paraplegic. What I like about water skiing is sensation on the water.
My name is Sam, and I am Delphine's boyfriend. And I'm not doing water skiing, I'm just loving Delphine. What I was seeing is Delphine is her smile and her heart. She has a beautiful heart.
My name's Sean Rose.
And I'm Leanna Rose.
And we're here at the World Disabled Water Skiing Championships. I ski for Great Britain.
I do water ski back in the UK, but I don't ski competitively. I just come along to the events to support Sean and the rest of the team.
I had my accident snow skiing back in February 2000. Just a simple fall, just hit some wet snow, went over the front. What I like about water skiing, it's very similar to some of the sports I did before my accident. I was into anything fast, the adrenaline, all that type of thing, and pretty much this is the next best thing. It's quick, you can go as quick or as slow as you want, do as much as you want, but at the end of the day it's all about the buzz, all about the adrenaline. If you've never tried water skiing before, you've got to give it a go. You'll never know how good it is. It really is. Pretty special. It doesn't have to be at this level, but definitely you're missing out. Another reason to get into these type of things, water skiing, skiing, that type of thing, is that you'll never know where it'll take you. We both met skiing and got married last September, so give it a go.
My name's Michael Appleford. I ski for Great Britain, although I'm a Scottish skier. I'm the only Scottish skier there is at the moment. I got interested in water skiing through a group called Options. We did abseiling, sailing, shooting, canoeing, and we got interested in water skiing and we got took up on a ski and away we went. Round the lake once and back in with the biggest smile I've ever had on my face. In 2001, the last time I was here, I beat Mark Turner by a quarter of a buoy to take home the gold. The year after that, the next Worlds in Almonte Springs, Mark Turner beat me by a quarter of a buoy to take it back from me. So we have a bit of a competition. At the age of 16, I crashed a motorbike and broke my back in 3 places. I spent several years in and out of hospital and rehab until finally I dealt with the accident and the situation I'm in. Got involved in the skiing. For me, it was the closest thing to being on a motorbike that I can get back to. I have a sense of freedom on it. As if I was to get back on a bike, I think my mum would destroy me. My mum's okay with me water skiing as long as she doesn't get to see me jump.
My name is Gerda Pamela, or Gerda Pamela from Germany. I'm an MP3 skier, and since 1 year I'm a 3-event skier. Yeah.
My name is Roland Benker from Germany, and I ski in tricks and slalom.
I like to fly over the water, I like to jump the wakes and like to turn so hard that I touch with my ears the water. And last year I started jumping and this is even better, you fly longer.
If you've never tried water skiing, it's very easy to learn and it's nice to be in the water, and at the beginning you get help and it's very easy to learn.
I run water ski clinics for beginners and advanced, so everybody can come and can try. If a beginner has trouble on the start, it's no problem. I can help you. I just go with you in the water, hold you on the cage, and you will be very happy you don't fall. Yeah, I compete since 7 years now, and this is very good because you travel around all over the world. I was in America several times, Australia, Europe of course, so it's good to be in the sport. You get many new friends in the sport and they will help you to see that the disability is no problem. Yeah, I designed for Germany a special t-shirt. Here you can see the 3 events, slalom, trick and jump, behind the German flag. Here is Roland, that's me, and this is Herbert, the German jumper.
Our world champion in the arm division, Barry Gandamir. And in first place in the trick event for the men's leg division, Lars Larsen from Denmark.
My name is Chad Guzman and I ski in the MP3 division, and my specialty is pretty much slalom. I used to ski as a kid and I wanted to get my wife involved with skiing. I was doing some road racing at the time and my sponsor made water skis. I skied for recreational for a couple years. Well, every 2 years they have a World Championships, and they select a team at nationals in between those years. And I got selected last year, and we went to Belgium. And during that World Championships, I ended up winning the slalom championship. The trip to Belgium was great. A new experience. I had only been to Europe once before. We got to go to Scotland and train. Very nice people throughout. The weather and the site were great. The competition, I had never skied at a world-class level water skiing before, so that was a new experience. And there's some really good skiers out there. It was a lot of fun. I ski at home in Arizona in able-bodied tournaments, and it works out great. And people are surprised to see what we're doing. And I think if we were to go to an able-bodied regionals or nationals, I think it'd be all that much better. It would help our sport, and there's a lot of people that aren't aware of what we do and know people that have been hurt, and it would just be a great outlet for them. In 1990, I was riding a motorcycle, and a car coming the other direction lost control and hit me. My family is my support system. My wife I've been with for 20 years, been married for 13 of those, and 3 years ago we adopted a little girl, and she's been a godsend. She's been great. She's our rope handler right now in the boat. She's terrific. Her name's Valentina. I spend a lot of time with my family. It really takes a team effort to do this sport, and they've been a great asset to me. During my experiences being disabled, I used to race wheelchairs, and I saw a lot of the U.S. and made a couple trips abroad, and water skiing as well as opened that venue to meeting, seeing different cultures and things I just wouldn't have done able-bodied. That, we're here on this planet for a short time, and those personal relationships that you build and cultures you get to experience are pretty valuable to me anyway.
Skiing, it's kind of weird. It seems always like it's been a family. Like when I was on my show ski team, it's almost like being in a family. And coming here, it's the same way. Everyone supports you, even though you're competing against each other. Everyone's still rooting for the best for you and keeping contacts over the years and over the winter, talking to other people with disabilities, and not only skiing, but everything else. Over the years of my accident, I can honestly say that every day I don't regret it. What I've learned since my accident is something that I just won't forget, and being the people that I've met along the way it's been inspirational.
All right.